Hey guys, how we doing and how we feeling today? Okay, so in this episode, episode 32, season 3, episode 2 of Pop and Bob, here we go. We're gonna talk about Rina Sawayama's new album titled Hold the Girl. Okay, so who is Rina Sawayama, you may be asking? Okay, so she's mainstream already, but she's not quite up there yet, like with the big leagues. But she's well on her way, mark my words. But anyway, she's probably most known for her hit Cherry and also hits like XS and her collabs with Lady Gaga, Sir Elton John, and Charlie XCX. And actually, her collab with Charlie was it served as a track on Charlie's latest album, Crash. Yeah. And also her collab with Elton John, which is titled Chosen Family, was not only on Elton's album, the last one, Lockdown Sessions, but also Rina's debut album, Sawayama. And her collab with Lady Gaga was on Lady Gaga's remix album of Chromatica. Yeah, Dawn of Chromatica. Okay, so back to Rina here. Okay, so Rina dropped this album, Hold the Girl, on the 16th of September. As of the time of this recording, today is October 2nd. So it has been out for like 2 weeks, but here we are now talking about it. So, okay, without further ado, there we go. Let's get into it. So, okay. Firstly, the lead single of the album was This Hell. Well, it wasn't a massive hit, but it was a hit. It was a moderate hit because not only is it an LGBTQ plus anthem, a pride anthem, but also I believe Rina really received even more recognition ever since she dropped this song, you know. The video is pretty good. The lyrics are quite interesting. What she's talking about, like this hell is better with you. And then she dropped 4 additional promotional singles, which were Catch Me in the Air, Hold the Girl, the title track, Phantom, and Hurricanes. So, okay. Now, the album is 13 songs, and it's a little over 46 minutes long, so it is kind of a long listen, but you'll get through it pretty easily still. But now, let's see, how much replay value does this album have? Okay, so the first song, Minor Feelings. So this opening track does a superb job at captivating the listener from the get-go. And also Rina's vocals here sound stable and sharper than they have ever been before. Moving on to track number 2, Hold the Girl, the title track. So, okay, this is the first of my standout tracks from the album. So, okay, Rina immediately pulls you into the song with her mesmerizing vocals / a cappella-esque moments, and the change in pitch towards the end gives the song a more cinematic feel, you know, like making it sound like it belongs on a blockbuster movie soundtrack. Okay, so, excuse me. Then track number 3, This Hell, the lead single. As I already said, it is a pride anthem. It's a pretty darn good pride anthem at that. And also it's pretty radio friendly, so I can see why it was chosen as a lead single. Now, another highlight here, Catch Me in the Air. This is a pretty introspective song, and also Rina's vocals soar during the chorus. And I've talked a lot about, we're only 4 tracks in, and I've mentioned Rina's vocals quite a lot because not only does she have strong pipes, but also she really knows when to use them at the max and how to use them like more as a more like soothing voice, soothing feel, and she knows how to belt, her high notes. Okay, then moving on to track number 5, Forgiveness. This is a pretty okay song. And by okay, I mean it's a passable song, decent, but not like a worthwhile song. You can kind of skip it, you know? And then, but also the good thing about this song though is that the track builds up towards the end as it adds some necessary spice to an otherwise mid song. Moving on to track number 6, titled Holy Till You Let Me Go. Okay, so this song is another one of my highlight tracks on the album. The song title alone begs for the listener's attention. You know, you read the title and it says Holy, in parentheses, Till You Let Me Go. So yeah, you're like, okay, what is she talking about here? Let me play it. Let me press play. Undoubtedly, this is one of the album's highest highs, and the production shines through on the track all throughout. So really nice work here. Okay, so track number 7, Your Age. This song brings the album's momentum down a tad bit. That being said, the song itself isn't bad by any means. It's just we're coming off from one of the standout tracks in my humble opinion. So that's why it feels like it was kind of a letdown, because we're bringing down the quality a little. But the lyrics are quite captivating, I must say. Okay, so then moving on to Imagining, track number 8. Okay, so the production sounds fresh in regards to Rina's overall sound among her discography, you know, comparing it especially to Sawayama, her debut album of 2020. Then, however, the excessive amount of autotune and overall effects take the listener out of the song. You know, it's really distracting. So you're like, okay, when is the song gonna end? It's that level of annoyance. Then track number 9, Frankenstein. Okay, so this is the last of my highlight tracks on the album. There are, I believe, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there are 5. Okay, it is the last one though. And then, okay, so this song is, as I said, another standout moment in the album. But especially with the lyrics, she's saying things like, "I don't want to be a monster anymore. I was doing fine till I hit rock bottom." Okay, so going with the first lyric, I don't want to be a monster anymore. I get that, because sorry, I'm trying to speak here. There have been a lot of instances in my life. Talk about my experiences here. Where people have called me out, not called me out. They have accused me of being the bad guy, the villain, all sorts of nasty shit. And I'm at the point in my life right now where I'm like, I am that bitch. I know when I fuck up and when I am in the right and when I'm in the wrong. But, there are people who, now talking in general terms, there's always going to be someone or a lot of people who just want to make you feel bad about yourself, but you have to believe that you're that bitch and you're not going to let anyone get in your way, And then I was doing fine till I hit rock bottom. So yeah, I can connect with that a lot, because, there have been also periods in my life, moments in time in my life where I've hit rock bottom and I feel like total crap. You're like, oh my god, like, how did this happen? I was like really doing well and now I'm at the pits. I'm stuck. But you always have to keep going, keep pushing, because we only have one life, and it's quite short. So I know it's cliche, but it really is true, guys. You have to live the life to the max, carpe diem, because we just have this one life. So even though I can tell you from experience, I have hit rock bottom several times, and I can tell you that it only gets better from there. It really is true. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, keep pushing, guys. Then track number 10, Hurricanes. Rina sings, "I'm not the girl I tried to be yesterday. Until I find your door, until the wind blows north, I'm running into hurricanes." Okay, so this lyric is also quite interesting, because she's basically saying, I'm not the person I was yesterday or who I was trying to be. I'm just myself. I'm Rina. And until I find your door, until the wind blows north, I'm running into hurricane. So what I get from this is that until she finds her like safe space or her safe space, her sanctuary, she's gonna keep pushing it. She's gonna keep living life and fucking up and because that's what life is all about. It's all about trial and error. So then moving on to track number 11, Send My Love to John. Okay, so this is a beautiful, quite gorgeous ballad, might I add, by Rina. And it's also a nice change of pace to start wrapping up the album because there's only 3 songs left with this one. So she's preparing us to, put the final bow on the birthday cake. My sorry. Yeah, it was a silly example, but anyways. Then track number 12, Phantom. This is an excellent incorporation and inclusion of electric guitars. Talking about instrumentation here. This song in particular does a really good job with, actual instruments within the album. And then Rina sings, I tried everything to fill up the void that you left me with. Once upon a time, there was a girl dying to be liked, looking for love. Okay, so yeah, I can also relate to this because this thing that she's saying about filling up the void with someone else, that's a tricky situation because I have gone through that, and when you're vulnerable, you're trying to see like who can fill that void, who can distract you from all that. But let me tell you guys that it's quite complicated, that kind of situation. And then, okay, moving on. Once upon a time, there was a girl dying to be liked, looking for love. Okay, this right here, yeah, I can 100% get behind that because I've been through that also. Like when you feel like you don't have a lot of love that you're receiving, and you're like putting a lot of sorry, how can I explain this? Like you're putting a lot of yourself out there, but you're not receiving almost anything back, love wise. So yeah, I mean, we all go through that, and it's really tough. But just know this: when you find, I can happily say that right now in this moment of my life, I'm me, Emilio, I'm 25, almost 26 years old, and I can happily say that this is the first time in my life I can say confidently that I have the best friends that anyone could ever ask for. So yeah, I'm just saying that as an example because I have a really good support system right now, and once you find that, you will know that all the love that you need is right there. I know you can also find that with a romantic partner, but yeah, I mean, as long as you have friends, family that really support you, you have everything. Then okay, so moving on to the final track on the album, To Be Alive, Rina sings, feels like the first time that I finally know what it feels like to be alive. Yeah, I can also get behind that because when you go through stuff like mental health stuff, it can get pretty rough. But know this: when you come out of like depression and stuff like that, you come out like a bad bitch. You're like, okay, I survived this, and not only that, I'm stronger than ever. Then she sings, I swear that sometimes I get to be my worst enemy. Can also relate to that. When I was a little kid and as a teenager, early teenager, during puberty, I was the biggest critic of myself. I was really a perfectionist, but now I'm like, I still do things with quality, but like high quality stuff. But I'm not a perfectionist anymore because that's really draining on yourself. So yeah. Lastly, she sings, "Cause I used to make my world so small, prisoner to my bedroom walls." So, yeah, this stuff about isolation is pretty real. We all lived it during the pandemic and whatnot. And and finally, I'm gonna add that Rina closes out this album in such a beautiful and classy fashion. Anyways, okay, so that's the whole album. Now, just to wrap things up, almost done here. Okay, so basically, with the lyrics that we just read and the track list going through it, what is Rina talking about in this album? Basically, she's talking about, going through hardships, whether it be romantic hardships or basically life hardships, coming out of something of some heavy shit, coming out of that a stronger person, a wiser person. Um, yeah, and also she's talking about, you know, calling out the homophobes, with, because Rina has said that she's pansexual, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, she's talking about these really important topics that should be discussed more. Acceptance of the LGBTQ plus community, and also, taking mental health issues seriously. They're really real. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about them still. But anyways, that's another talk. That's another topic for another episode. And okay, so finally, my overall thoughts on the album. It's a pretty good step up. It's a pretty notorious step up from Sawayama, Rina's debut album. It could have been better, but I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5 stars for Hold the Girl by Rina Sawayama. There we go. And yeah, this is without a doubt, Hold the Girl is without a doubt Rina's best album to date, by far. So I see Rina having a pretty bright future. She deserves more attention, just as artists like Sabrina Carpenter. So yeah, I mean, good for her. Good for Rina here. A little applause there. And yeah, that's it. Before I go, guys, just remember to follow Pop and Bop on Instagram. It's at Pop and Bop, the handle, and the same on Twitter. Also, we're on TikTok. We're on TikTok. The handle is at Pop and Bop1. Facebook, it's just, you type Pop and Bop, as simple as that. And yeah, that's it for this episode. This has been Pop and Bop. I'm Emilio Fernandez, and thank you so much for listening, and catch you next time. Goodbye.